Morning, everybody. Um, I started thinking about a lot of things lately. I started thinking about that maybe this whole trials and tribulation journey wasn't exactly what I expected. As far as why I thought the whole purpose of originally coming out on YouTube trying to state my case and trying to state the justice in the situation because I felt like nobody was listening to me and I really didn't have the funds or the money to pay for attorneys, to pursue this case. Plus, since everything is so hidden, the inheritance, everything has been changed into people's other names, and I don't know if it's been spent. The whole point is that I've approached different attorneys and stuff like that, and people knew exactly what they were doing in this case. They knew exactly whether I don't know if the government's involved or not, or how far it goes within the organizations or whatever. The point is that these people left, trying to leave like there would be no trace back to them. But there is. And soon it'll be shown and discovered and told about that that what they did hidden is going to be exposed. They thought I wouldn't have a chance to find out the information that I was going to need to bring forth for a case. They thought they had it made in the shade, right? The thing is that they probably could have if they would have been a little smarter. If they would have not been so over paranoid and over sure of themselves, they probably could have had this shit done and been untouched or unnoticed. But they kept on, triggering shit, causing the gang stalking, causing people to, for me to be aware of my surroundings, that things were being awkwardly initially done on purpose, as far as gang stalking, as far as keeping me from causing conflict at my jobs, at my places, with friends, certain people, sending certain people out to try to act like they were my friends and shit like that. Just all setups, nothing but setups around me. People were not who they, perceived to be. It took me a while to get it, and in that beginning, I thought I was over paranoid. That I was just thinking too much into it, or I was on drugs. The drugs were causing me to fucking be over paranoid, But since these people got a kick out of fucking uh, bullying and instigating and doing shit, they're getting a kick out of it. They kept doing it so much to the point to where it was so fucking noticeable that I mean, how can you not notice? It's my life day and night. How would I not know the awkwardness and the fucking intentional shit that was being done to me? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this shit out, which they thought I would never figure out. The point is that they kept doing stupid shit, and that's what got them caught. Just like caught up with YouTube and fucking causing all these fake profiles and collecting cash, you know, acting like I don't know how they set it up. And to this day, it was so weird about this whole situation is that I don't get to see this because like God, somehow the universe blocks all this shit from me. Sometimes I'll read some stupid ass shit that's on the internet. But the majority of the things that people are saying or the karmics or whatever is being done that everybody sees on YouTube, for some reason it's blocked for me to see it. I don't see everything that's being said about me. I don't. Maybe it's better that way. Maybe God has it that way to where I don't see everything that's being said about me, or read about it or hear about it. Maybe it's a good thing, Maybe I'm isolated for a reason. I just feel like, but I'm on YouTube so much that I would think that I'd run into karmics and things that are being said, but maybe I just don't have them people subscribed on my list, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe I've unsubscribed them. It's better that way. The less that you read about and hear about stupid shit that's said about a person, I mean, it's better. I mean, it's because who wants to hear that shit, They try to invade your privacy. They try to invade your space, your you're trying to make you doubt yourself. It ain't happening. Not anymore. When this started off 5, 7 years ago, this was something I didn't understand. Within the last 2 years, I kind of grasped it. It took me like just time to sober up, to really see what the fuck was going on and realize that it wasn't because it was the influence of drugs. It was really happening around me. Shit was really happening, and I wasn't fucking insane, and I wasn't fucking just uh, high, on drugs and shit like that. It was happening to me. Plus, it didn't help that the karmic that I was with, that was signed up with them, I don't know what he agreed to, unalive me, poison me while we were living together. The one to put out the video of us living our living, our living home, privacy videos he put out there, sexual or whatever he did. This idiot too, would talk a lot of shit, and I would catch on to what the fuck he was saying. And this is how I knew that he was having an affair with the emperor, the divine masculine that's on a platform. The reason I figured this shit out is that somebody told me about that my son was going to go to prison, right? Some bitch that was listening to tarot card reader. And so then I knew this is how I got into the tarot card reading fucking world. This bitch was mentioning this shit. And then, like, 2, 3 months later, I found out that my son was in prison for attempted murder. We hadn't spoken, and he was off doing things, and I don't know what happened. I really believe he was set up on that, too. I really believe that was a setup because it's just something unusual about his behavior does not add up to me, and he doesn't want to talk about it, so I can't force him to talk about it. So, the thing is that the karmic was involved in a lot of shady things that I wasn't even aware of. I didn't know they were doing shit behind my back because he portrayed himself one way in front of me. And if he was off doing stuff, he was doing stuff on his own. I mean, his phone had so much information as far as apps that I could not get through every app to try to figure out what the fuck he was doing. Because I tried to catch him. I ain't gonna lie. I tried to look through his phone. I tried to see who he was talking to. I tried to, because my assumptions and my gut feeling told me that he was cheating on me left and right and that he was up to no good. I just couldn't prove it. And the thing about him is that he had all these weird ass applications that by the time I could try to figure out how to get into his phone and how to go through every fucking application, I mean, I didn't have time to really go through his phone. I'd have to literally steal his phone and take off somewhere for days, I guess, in order to really break through his phone, to get in all the information I needed to. And it wasn't worth my time. When I started to have to think like that, I thought to myself, why would I want somebody like this? Why would I want to be in a relationship if I got to constantly be insecure about it? If I got to constantly be thinking that every time a text goes through or every time he takes off for an hour, he's doing something. Who wants to live like that? Who wants to live so insecure? So, this person never made me feel secure. So, the point I'm trying to tell you is we do it to ourselves. I did it to myself. I knew this person was bad news. After like a year or two, his facade fell, his face showed, and his true colors showed, and it took me. But I thought I was in love, so I played on that fucking emotion, which in reality was codependency. It wasn't even love; it was just codependency because I thought I couldn't live without the person. And look at me, 8 months later, I'm better than I was when I was with that person. But it's because of the verbal and mental abuse that I was putting up with, that I allowed to happen to me. Because I'm not going to play a victim. And I ain't here to point fingers, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just as fault as fucking staying in the relationship. I blame myself because you have the right to leave. You have the obligation to yourself and to your well-being to leave the situation, not to stay in it. So I chose to be there for my own insecurities and for my own self-doubting and codependency, you know and so I take total responsibility for that. I take responsibility for anything that I've ever done in my life. I own up to it. Like I say, I earned my spot because I own up to everything that I've ever done wrong. I can't remember everything. I can't always remember everything, but I know when it happens now, I'm conscious enough to know and apologize for it, or to reframe and retrack and analyze it and see why I acted that way or why I said that, and try to immediately change it or apologize for it or ask for forgiveness, to God. So I'm aware of everything around me, so much so that every little idea, every little thought, I have to think two, three, four times before I even say it sometimes I do get into the heat of the moment and I do express myself without really thinking about it, and that gets myself in trouble all the time. I mean, but now I'm trying to be more cautious, more calm, more patient about within myself and within my own thoughts and my emotions. Because being human, you go through all this emotional roller coaster that can it's unpredictable sometimes. My life has been unpredictable, and my own emotions are unpredictable sometimes. Because, and I'm not gonna blame because of what I've been through in the past. It's just that there is effects to everything that's happened. Everything that I've experienced, there is mental effects to that. And I'm not trying to say I'm crazy. I'm just trying to say that just like a person that goes to war, they're going to come back with PTSD. They're going to come back with, you know, certain behaviors that they just, are affected by. So I'm rearranging that. I'm trying to unwire or rewire those thoughts and those behaviors that I endured in these 5, 7 years of fucking bullshit, that I went through. So I'm learning how to do that because I believe like the way the Buddhists and I believe like the shamans and all these people, I mean, everything is mental. Everything, you have the capability of healing yourself. God knows. We know. God is the miracle worker, the creator. We can fix ourselves, you know, with that same faith, with that same belief. You can heal yourself, whether it's cancer, whether it's AIDS. I believe all this stuff, whether you're gay or not, I believe that you can heal yourself. It's all a mental state. And you let things that happened to you in your childhood affect you to the point where it confuses you. It confuses you as a child. And so therefore you're confused growing up. But if you sit down with yourself long enough and really think about it, you'll start to figure out why you have certain tendencies, whether it's gay tendencies, whether it's drug tendencies, whether it's anger, uh, reactions to things. It's just, you just have to sit with yourself long enough to understand yourself and to know what triggers why, when somebody says this or does this, you get this kind of trigger reaction from yourself or from other people. And that's where I've come around to notice about myself and what I've worked on within myself. And I'm still working on myself. It's never going to end. I have things since, that I'm working on finally in my 50s that I didn't work on. And I never really went to counseling. So I'm adapting and relearning myself and learning why my patterns escalate to this point, or why they held me back, or why I held myself back, or why I allowed this to happen, and why that, and I am my own counselor. I don't need counseling, believe it or not. I mean, I do go sometimes and listen to what they say. I'm not objected to it. I don't deny any kind of good help is worth it. But I know myself so well. I know myself better than a counselor knows myself. So therefore, I just do a lot of inner work, and I end up healing myself, meditation, praying, and that's what got me this far. So, on that note, I think that's about it for right now that I want to say. I was feeling a little inspired. It's 5:30 a.m. in the Midwest, and so just leave that thought. Maybe somebody out there might need to hear something. I don't know. Maybe something was said within this whole conversation that will help somebody out there in the world. And so I wish you guys all peace, love, and healing ourselves, our mind and our heart, forgiving, repenting within yourself, within the God within you, and within God, the Creator, and Jesus. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Shalom. May God be always with you. Amen.